live. Hopefully this one works. I don't know what's been going on tonight with my YouTube and my live situation. It's usually not this difficult. So yeah, the internet is, wow, I think it's the internet. So let me get off of my Wi-Fi. Something's going on with the internet. Oh, well, there it goes. It's strong as ever. Where is it? Okay, all right. Sorry, I am finally on live. I actually was on live on my computer, but something's going on with the internet. It's just not happening tonight. It's not happening. But it also is inspiring me a little more. Like, all right, this live is not trying to happen right now for whatever reason, but we're gonna get this live done, okay? So I'm gonna go ahead and do a little different setup than what I originally was gonna do. So hello, I'm sorry if you got an email about a certain link or something. That link is not working. It's it just wouldn't connect to me, or I was sitting there and I kept thinking, when is it gonna start? And it just would never connect. The internet seems fine to me, but we don't know. So if it starts to act a little funny, let me know. But hello, we are technically around 20 minutes behind schedule and not quite planned, but hey, here we are. So let me sit down. Let me grab my stuff. I have to move things around a little bit different. So since you guys are here now, please let me know where you're tuning in from. I would love to know where you're tuning in from, where you're watching from, and how your day is going. I know it's not quite the middle of the week yet because we're still technically in Tuesday, but I want to tell you that I really hope that this today and kind of inspires you and encourages you for your journey. If you're walking in purpose, you're working toward your dream, and you feel like you lose the momentum sometimes, or you feel like you lose the drive, or you feel like you should throw in the towel. Because I want to tell you, this is going to be a really honest girl chat right now, okay? The reason I'm saying this is because tonight's message and the whole goal with this class was to talk to you about how it really feels when you lose your motivation for your purpose. And then what is going on in us when we are losing that motivation, okay? And so this is something I want to talk to you about because I have lost the motivation many times in my ministry's journey. And His Daughter's Closet, I think I founded it in 2017. We're in 2025, but I will say there has been still many days where I'm like, God, are we making impact? God, are we really called to do this? And even especially when I had smaller numbers, when I felt like I was working towards something that I had not seen the results of yet, I truly asked those questions. And so I do believe that this wasn't quite planned. I had the Bloom month planned, but then here, so if you were watching my last live, I talked about the Bloom month, and that is inside of our membership, which I did do a bonus for that. It's a bonus in there. So if you're inside the membership, there is a fitness challenge, self-care challenge, or even a creativity challenge in there for you to try this month of March. However, I kind of came back with this one because when you lose motivation for your purpose, a lot of stuff can shift inside of you, okay? It could literally be something going on in your personal life, or you literally can be like, why is it so hard to write blogs now? When I used to love writing blogs. Why is it so hard to create the videos when I used to love to do this? Why is it so hard to even just go in my closet and play with my fashion when I used to love creating videos like this? Why is it so hard now? And I don't know if you've been there, but I definitely have. When I've literally said, Lord, why do I want to throw in the towel when I know you called me to this? Like, I know I have the gifts for this. I know. But then again, it's like, but I don't even have no desire towards it. I have no passion towards it. It's kind of non-existent in my heart and in my mind. So the reason I'm talking about this is because I have been here. I have had many days where I have literally said, I'm going to dissolve His Daughter's Closet. I'm going to dissolve it, Lord, because I don't have the desire in it anymore. And I don't want to be a phony, and I don't want to be a fake, and I don't want to preach about how you're so good and so loving when I'm writing these words and stuff and I don't feel that. And also I just don't have a really passion about this particular thing. You know, I might have a passion about you, Lord, but I don't have a passion about this. I don't have a passion to go look over these blogs. I don't have the passion to host that thing. I don't have the passion for that. And I would literally tell the Lord, like, I don't have the drive I once had. Maybe things are changing, but I don't have that. And so this is the one thing I tell you do not do in that season. You do not make a permanent decision, okay? There were many seasons where I thought I should not have the ministry again. Like, I just shouldn't. Like, it's pointless. Like, it's more of a busy, I'm always busy with it. Like, it's such a hassle. I used to even think early on, like, I shouldn't even have this ministry. I'm not qualified. It's a hassle. I used to think all this stuff. And it's actually been one of the biggest blessings to me and so many others. And so I'm so glad I never gave up on it. But I want to tell you, there are some things that I have learned, y'all. And I have been in ministry for a while. And I've been walking on my journey, my purpose journey for a long time too, where I've learned that you will have those hills and valleys. But you have to think of it also with a relationship. Even if you're dating somebody, there might be seasons when the relationship is so spicy and you're like, yes, I'm so excited. I can't wait to see them. Yes. And then there's seasons where you're just like, hey, like it don't even feel like there's nothing really. And it doesn't mean you don't love them. It just means that we're in a different season now. We maybe be a little more comfortable. We might be a little more used to each other, whatever. So it doesn't mean that the love is gone. It just means that the season has shifted a little. And that's what happens with us and our purpose. You might be like, I don't really care to do this business anymore. I can't get to it. It's not that your love for the business isn't there. It's still under the surface. It's just that the seasons have shifted, okay? And so today I'm going to give you 5 ways on how you can get the motivation back for your purpose. Because one thing I will tell you, people are like, oh, you don't always need to be motivated to do it. That is very true. But when you don't have motivation for 1 week, okay, 2 weeks maybe. But when you look up and it's been months and you don't have motivation, you will quit touching that thing and you will watch everything you dreamed of, or everything you were close to building, you will watch it crumble. I have been there. I have been like, oh, I'm not motivated, so I'm not going to write those blogs. Oh, I'm not motivated, so I'm not going to upload a video. And that's why I say the first 2 years of my YouTube channel, I played around because I wasn't motivated. But it's also, now I have learned all these years that there are some things to do when you're losing motivation. It doesn't mean, though, to throw in the towel. No. Do these things and then see if you still want to throw in the towel, because sometimes you just need a little shift, okay? So the first thing is, when you're losing motivation for your purpose, the first thing is to step back. And if you're a person in business, or if you've ever been a person in leadership, this is what a lot of business advice people give. They say, okay, sometimes you can't see the problem because you're looking straight. Like, you can't see the fullness of what's going on because you're right on top of, you're looking at it all day. And that's sometimes with your purpose. You've been looking at that gift. You've been looking at, oh, I need to talk, I need to email them, and I need to use my speaking gifts. Oh, and I need to write the book. So you're just always looking at it. And then it's like, man, all you can see is the problem of it. But what happens when you take a step back, you get a bigger view. And so what I want to tell you is, for example, with the ministry, many days I would come into this office and I would be doing all the to-do lists. I'm just looking at it. And then there would be many times the Lord would say, stop, now step back. Put the to-do list away, step back. Let's look at the bigger picture here. Why are you doing that to-do list? Oh, those things is because I'm trying to get the video up. But why are you trying to get the video up? Not just because I want to get it up, because I actually feel like that's a powerful message and I think it's going to bless somebody. So you're doing all this because you think it's going to bless someone. It's going to help somebody. Yes. Okay. All right, good. Take another step back. Why are you working on this membership? Because I got to get all this stuff done. And I told people it's supposed to drop every Monday or on the 15th of every month. So I'm trying to get it done. It's like, okay, but take another step back. What's the purpose of the membership? To give girls tools so that they can really walk in their purpose. Okay, take another step back. What is it? How does it benefit? How does so I want to tell you, first thing is step back. And sometimes this is going to be challenging, but put the gift down. Put all the stuff. Oh, I'm going to write that book on my off day. Oh, I'm going to work on them blogs on my off day. Stop. Just say no. I'm not going to touch nothing. Step back. I'm not going to touch it. I'm not going to touch it for 1 day, 1 week, 2 weeks. I say your max should be 2 weeks though. 2 weeks. Because if not, you'll get comfortable and you won't touch it again. Give your max 2 weeks. Anytime in between there, but say, I'm not going to touch it. That means I'm not going to plan about it. I'm not going to stay up late thinking about it. I'm not going to go over there and touch it and work all on it. No. I am not going to touch this thing. I'm going to step back. Because maybe I'm just so close on it all the time. And all I can see is the small picture. So this is why we call it sabbaticals in the Bible. So if you're a minister, if you ever know a minister, even myself, I would take a sabbatical, which would be 2 weeks where I would step away from the ministry. And the first week was always the hardest because I didn't know what to do with myself. I'd be like, well, and then by the second week, I would start getting back into jogging and running, and I'd get back into going to the lake and going and doing things I love, trying new coffee shops, going thrifting. I started to notice I would get back to myself. Like, oh, the things I actually loved outside of the ministry. Because sometimes when all you're doing is looking at that thing, that purpose, that's what happens, and you can only see the problem. So if you're losing motivation, first step back. See, I'm not going to touch it for a whole weekend. Even though I know the weekend is when you love to touch it. I'm not going to touch it for a whole weekend. If you notice you're losing motivation, I'm not going to touch it. And the only time I will really think about it is when I get a fresh idea that I can write down, put it in my notes, and that's it. I'm not going to touch it. If God give me a little scripture word, I'm going to type it in my notes, but that's it. I'm not going to touch it. That's how I have to do it. Next thing is you got to identify the pain. Okay? So when you're losing motivation, you got to identify your pain points. Because so what is the issue? Because sometimes this issue isn't that you don't like it. It's that you're spending a lot of time doing design work when you don't like to design. You're spending a lot of time trying to figure out how to upload the thing correctly or write the book correctly when you really just want to write. You're spending a lot of time trying to figure out how to set up this product correctly or sell this product when you really just want to be speaking, right? Identify your pain points, okay? These mean these are your biggest hurdles and your biggest headaches. Identify that, all right? And hello. So yes, identify your biggest pain points. The reason I'm saying this is because we can sit down all day and be like, this is just not working. I'm not motivated. I have no desire to be doing this. It's not there. And really, it's coming from a pain point. So there was a time here at the office, I would be like, man, I don't have no motivation to record no videos, but God blessed me with this whole office and studio space to do that, but I don't have no motivation. Every time I come in here, I don't feel motivated. And I remember all it was is that every time I would step in there first, I wouldn't pray. I wasn't praying. I was running to the laptop because I knew how much work I had to do. I knew how many emails I had to do. I knew I needed to pay somebody. I needed to look at this. I was so focused on what was at hand that I didn't give myself the time to breathe and be like, I know you got stuff to take care of. Take care of that. But tomorrow when you step in here, you're not going to open that computer. You're going to just create. You're going to create what God put on your heart, right? So see, you have to be able to identify your pain points, okay? If you're losing motivation for your purpose and you're like, I don't even want to touch it. You know, I wrote the book, but it's been sitting on the back of my computer for months. I don't even have no passion towards it. You know what? I started that thing, and honestly, the website is still sitting there, but I haven't promoted it at all. Or I started the Instagram account or the Facebook group. I started this little movement or whatever, and guess what? I lost all motivation for it, and I just quit posting about it. I quit talking about it. If that is you, then you need to identify what your pain point is. And your pain point might be marketing. Your pain point might be, I don't like getting dressed up and showing up on camera. My pain point, that was me at time. I did not like feeling like I need to come on camera a little more polished. Because at first I'd be like, I'm just going to come on what I want to come on. And if you look at a lot of my old videos, sometimes my shirts would be low. Sometimes I didn't realize that sometimes just the smallest little thing can distract people. And so I had to learn that. I had to learn that a lot. Like, okay, don't wear that. Don't keep the camera like that. Like I had to learn. So what I want to tell you is identify your pain points. Number 3, all right? Number 3 is when you're losing motivation for your purpose, don't be afraid to do your research, all right? Do a poll, do a survey, get feedback, okay? So when I am losing motivation, let's say a product we might have, which this has happened many times. We have a certain product and I've lost motivation to work on it. I've lost motivation to promote it. I will quickly do some research about that product. Or other people who have different similar products. I will do research. I will even do a poll. I will ask my audience either in the email or I will ask them in I will even ask them in a survey. I will ask them in a form. I'll ask them on my Instagram, Facebook, whatever. I'll ask like, hey, what do y'all think about this? Like I will get feedback. A poll, pick which one you're most interested in and get the percentages and see what your audience is most interested in or something. If you don't have an audience yet, then this is where you're going to talk to other leaders, okay? And this is where I said get feedback. If you don't quite have an audience built yet or whatever your purpose is, you haven't really established in it yet, then this might be you got to start talking to other people and you got to get feedback. Not too long ago, I had to get some feedback on one of our products, and I had to book a call with somebody, and I had to get all this feedback. And I remember being like, "That's a lot of work I got to do, but you know, I got to do it." You know what I mean? Like, I got to put the right people in position so we can get this work done. And honestly, I will say you have to be willing to do your research, do a poll, get some advice, literally shoot somebody a message. Hey, how are you? I just want to ask. How do you do this? How do you start that? How did you build that? And I dropped a video yesterday actually called about just ask. That your biggest blessing sometimes is on the other side of you asking. And somebody actually emailed me, and I still need to get back to it, but I already put it in my personal email. And she was just like, I'm just asking you, how do I upload this video or this particular part of my book into Amazon? And she's like, I'm just stepping out on faith and asking because I know you know how to do it. I actually have an entire course on it, but maybe the course is still a little too quick for her. So then maybe I was like, well, you know what, Lord, I'll go ahead and get on a call with her and see what she's talking about and see what's going on. Just because she asked, I will literally get on a one-on-one call and let her let her walk me through her screen so I can tell her what to click so she can get her book up on Amazon. Okay, because she asked. Amen. So this is what I'm trying to tell you. Don't be afraid to ask. So do your research, do your pose. This is something I will say. When you are feeling motivated, you better be working. You better be moving. If you feel motivated to go to the gym, you better be in that gym. Okay? When you feel motivated to create something, you better be working. Because what happens is when the motivation leaves, that's when the real test comes. Can you keep working it? Can you keep grinding? Can you keep at it even when you don't have the motivation anymore? Okay? So that's a side that wasn't in my notes, but that's just a little nugget there. If you feel motivated to do something, do it. I say this all the time. When I feel motivated to do something, I'm like, can I afford to do that? Can I put that new thing on my plate? Can I really do this? What am I going to do with that? I'll be trying to figure everything out. And that night, I might even start making calls because I'm motivated about it. I'm like, how much would it be to do this? Like, I will get in touch with people, even shoot some Instagram DMs that night, trying to figure it out, why I'm still in that place of motivation, that place of inspiration. Like, if this is something that God wants me to do, then I'm sure I'm gonna step out on it, right? So, okay, honor that motivation. Next thing again is you gotta be willing to dream again, okay? When you have lost motivation, usually you have lost sight of the big picture. That's why you had to step back, okay? But when I have lost motivation, even if I sit in the office, like, what is the point of this? Like, oh, I'm so stressed out. It's like I lost the view of you guys. I lost the view of Jesus. I lost the view of why I do this, right? But then when I'm at an event or when I have a message from a girl, and even at our Tulsa event this past year, this girl came up to me and she was like, man, I was watching your I came across you in one of my most depressive times. I was taking care of an older family member, my mom or somebody, can't remember. She said she was taking care of somebody. And she was really down a lot. She just felt so behind. And she came across my videos and they really empowered her and they helped her get up. They helped her deal with a lot of different things and they helped her go on with her life. And I remember being like, wow, like this is why I do it, right? But sometimes you don't get that every day. You don't get that every week. So you have to be remembering to step back to remember why you do this, all right? And so that's what I want to encourage you. Remember why you do it, sis, okay? And also, if you're saying, well, Morgan, I can't remember. What do I do? You got to get back to dreaming again. You got to get some new goals, some new plans. A sis just said she's motivated to start a podcast, even though she doesn't have an audience yet. That's great because you're dreaming. So you're dreaming and you're starting to plan and you're starting to let things flow. And the key is you're having fun again. That's how motivation stays in your purpose because you're not only flowing with the Holy Spirit, but you're allowing yourself to have fun. Okay. Like I have a video dropping this Friday, which is a blaze. That's why these blazers are behind me right now. It's actually a blazer video that I shot about a week or so ago, but it's a video where I did some fashion. And honestly, I love fashion, but I needed to allow myself to have fun. I needed to allow myself to flow, right? So you gotta give yourself the chance to dream again. You gotta open up that door for yourself to truly be your best self. Okay, sis, your best self. The next thing I wanna tell you this is you gotta be willing to revamp. All right, and I'm the queen of revamping. I don't know if you've ever been on my website, you looked at some of my products, I will revamp something in a heartbeat. Even back in the day, listen to this, when I lived at home with my parents, it would be late at night or it'd be like a random day and I would feel the Lord say like, move your office around. Like you're kind of bored at how your office, like, and I would be in my old high school bedroom, but you're kind of bored of how your office looks. Move your office around. Exactly what I would go do. I'd move the whole thing around, okay? Whole thing around. Not that that was something magical happening. What was happening is I was getting out of my own way. I was like, oh, I'm getting a little comfortable, a little bored with this setup. I got to move things around. Be willing to revamp, girl, okay? If you are losing motivation for your purpose, your calling, your dreams, your idea, your product, your kind of content you shoot, if you're losing motivation for your job, if you're losing motivation, even if you work at a little office, you have a little desk, you work in the office, move some stuff around sometimes, girl. Clean something up over here. Move things around for yourself. Motivate yourself, okay? And that's going to be the key here. You have to be willing to revamp. Girl, you got to revamp you. You got to revamp your makeup. You got to revamp your hairstyle sometimes. You've got to revamp the way that you walk. You got to revamp the way that you do things, okay? And you might be like, Morgan, this is so physical. It is, but it's so powerful when you are motivated in your purpose and you don't neglect the certain parts of you. I said this in the Bloom Month challenge that we're doing right now for the membership. If you want to join that, I'll drop a link here shortly and you can check that out. But the Bloom Month challenge, I showed this flower and there was all these different petals. And I said, every petal has something that's a part of it. It makes up the fullness of the flower. But what happens is we have all these petals. We might be a mother, an entrepreneur, a speaker. We might have this desire to do home care or whatever. But then guess what? We only pick on one of the petals and it's just the mama, right? Oh, I'm just gonna be the mama. All the other petals of me, the entrepreneur, the creative person, the business person, all that's gonna go away. I'm just gonna be the mama, right? No. There are all these petals on your flower that are different parts of you and you have to embrace every one of those. And that's why I tell you, girl, you gotta be willing to revamp. If you have lost motivation, even for yourself, like if you look in the mirror and be like, it's just not giving. All right, we gotta revamp. I might need to revamp what I've been wearing lately. I might actually need to, instead of, and I say this to myself sometimes I want to go super silk press, and then sometimes I want to go super natural. If I'm super silk pressed too long, I'm like, all right, it's time to revamp to go natural. And then when I'm natural for a while, I'm like, all right, it's time to revamp, go silk press, okay? Like, so sometimes you'll see me go through those waves because sometimes even me, I'm like, I got to revamp me a little bit. I got to revamp my space. I got to refresh my brand. And that's something simple. Like your motivation may literally be lacking because you haven't moved your office around a while. Your motivation might be lacking because you have not updated your brand's logo or website in a while. Your motivation could be lacking because you have not really moved your room around or your living room around since you got there. Your motivation could be lacking literally just because you haven't revamped things, okay? And something God has taught me so early on in my ministry journey, my faith walk, is be willing to revamp things that suit you. Because sometimes you have stuff sitting there that suited the old you. And I got to give you this example. I'm going to say it again. Sometimes you still have stuff sitting the way they used to connect to you. But you got to revamp. Okay? You got to revamp. But I say this is because when I moved back home to my parents' house, I failed out of college. This was years ago. I failed out of college. I moved back home to my parents' house. And I was in this back bedroom. My high school bedroom became storage and it was a lot of stuff in there. And I stayed in that back bedroom probably for about 2 months. And then one day I opened up my high school bedroom and I looked in this room and it was very small and there was stuff high. I mean, we had a lot, my sibling stuff, my stuff. Like my mom stored everything in that room. It was storage. And I remember looking around that room and I was like, man, this is an extra room I could use to turn into like a home office, you know? Because I just started a ministry, but I didn't know I was going to fail out of college and I didn't know I was going to end up back here. But I mean, I did start it. So, I mean, I guess I could run it from this room if I got this room together. So the next week, y'all, I was motivated. I didn't let the motivation leave. I got to work on it. I was pulling up tile. I bought paint. Thank God to my parents because they actually bought the paint. They bought me paint. I was in there filling up hose. I was smoothing things out. I think it took me about 4 days. But I went from a busted up room, tile room, to, if you go look at a lot of my beginning videos from the Morning Coffee, Morning Fix, they were in that room. It actually looked a little like this when I was done. I painted everything white. I wanted a super white room because I knew I would be shooting in there. I had the same box lights right here that are beside me. You see this little box lights over here? These were the same ones that I had in that room. Now I'm sitting in the office, but I had in that room and I set things up and I shot my videos. I had to make my space align to what I truly saw for myself. And so I'm not telling you it might not be your bedroom or your house, so to speak, just yet, but it actually might be your brand. It might be your business. You might need your logo to freshen up. And I say this a lot. I am the queen of revamp. I will revamp something. I have products where it's like, ooh, it's kind of stale. I will show you the same product, but I will revamp the cover. I will revamp it. I will revamp the website design. I will revamp the sales page. I will look at that and be like, Even last night, I was up late last night revamping for our Glow Up logo for the Glow Up series. I was up all late last night revamping that. I will revamp some stuff until it inspires me, until it refreshes my vision, until it gives me that new drive, okay? I will revamp it, okay? And so that's what I want to say. Be willing to revamp your stuff, revamp your brand, revamp your content. Girl, revamp your vibe. If you've been noticing, for example, if you this was me years ago. I did like faith, college. My tagline was like faith, college advice, natural hair care. That was like my tag back then when I first kind of got my first few years on YouTube, maybe even my third year on YouTube. I was really big into natural hair. If you go look at my videos, I was really big into the natural hair movement. I was really big into college advice because I was in college. But then over time, I was no longer in college. I wasn't really doing hair content. I could tell the faith content, the fashion, and the encouragement content is what I was naturally starting to be more drawn to. So I did have to revamp my YouTube a little bit. I had to get away from the curly hair content and all that. And I still keep the beauty and the fashion. However, it's not as much. And so that's what I want to encourage you to like flow with the Holy Spirit as he leads you. But girl, so you might just need to revamp your life, okay? Like literally, I'm losing motivation. Time to revamp. Take a sick day at work and call it I'm taking a well day so I can have a full day to revamp. You know what? I usually be working at Friday. I'm going to take Friday off. I'm going to take a well. I don't need to be sick. I'm going to take a well day. And I'm going to use that day to rest and to revamp. What areas of my life need to be revamped? What areas of life can I revamp right now? If you don't know how to answer that, first ask the Lord, and then, girl, don't be afraid to ask somebody else. I've asked ChatGPT some things before. I'm like, all right, so how do I set this thing up? Like, girl, I've literally told them off chat. I've told ChatGPT all my goals and my faith, how I feel about my faith. And then I said, now create me an ideal morning routine. And I just wanted to see if it was on topic, kind of what I already do, and it really was very similar. I just wanted to see what they were offering. Okay, now I'm not telling you to take everything verbatim and just like embrace, but sometimes some of your questions that you have, you got to ask somebody, especially you just don't want to leave them questions and they're like, man, how do I really do this? Ask somebody. I ask, okay, all right. So I'm really coming tonight, just like as your big sister, like who's literally like, you're beautiful, you're amazing. You are still breathing. You have air in your lungs. You are gifted. God has called you. God has set you apart. He has put you on this earth at this time, in this place, from that family with that personality and that skin tone and that hair texture and that size of nose and that type of thing. God has created you and crafted you just how you are right now to do exactly what he's called you to do. And you have to know that. And you have to believe that. You have to breathe that. That I was set here, and I have to even say that for this town that I'm in. God put me here for a reason. Even though sometimes I feel inadequate, even though sometimes I feel overlooked, God has placed me here for a reason. And I will walk in that, and I will stand in that, all right? So daughter of God, all I'm trying to tell you today is stand in what God has already called you to do. Stand in it. Stand in it. And it's so easy for us, and I'm speaking because I'm your sister in Christ, like, it's so easy for us to just say, oh, things aren't working out. Oh, life is just hard. I lost motivation for my purpose, so I'm going to just put it to the side. I don't know how many, this is so real. Lord, help me. Gosh, this is really hard to say this, but I'm going to say it because I don't know how many brands or small Christian content creators when I first got started that I looked up to, that I was like, inspired by, even though they were small too. I was real small at the time. There were Black-owned brands and women-owned brands that I would be like, ooh. I would be like, ooh, one day I'm gonna connect with them. Ooh, one day when I have money, when I eventually I'm gonna connect with them. And I will tell you, there's been so many creators and brands that okay, sorry y'all, I was getting a phone call. But there are so many creators and brands that I went back to trying to connect with, like, oh, hey, come be a part of my channel. Come in, let's share this product, let's share our content together. And they weren't on that train anymore. They're like, I haven't done YouTube in so long. Oh, I can't even get a hold of the brand people, that the brand shut down in 2019 or 2012. And I'm like, not 2012, maybe like 2019, 2018. And I remember being like, they shut down? Like, I loved it, what they created. Like, I loved the mugs they sent me, So I'm not telling you to not follow God. Please follow the Holy Spirit. But also what I'm encouraging you to do is when you start it, you won't always be motivated. Tonight, I was not motivated to do this live. Not at all, actually. Got off work, was talking to my brother. He talked my head off. I love him. My brother talked my head off the whole drive here. Whole time I'm getting ready back here. He's still talking. And I'm thinking, I haven't had no time for me yet. Like, I just want to woosah for a minute before I jump on this live. Didn't have that chance. But regardless, and I told him, I said, I'm not very motivated to do this tonight, but guess what? I'm going to feel so much better once I just show up and do it. And just show up. And I want to tell you that same thing for you. You're not always going to have the motivation to do what God has called you to do. You're not always going to have butterflies in the flow and, oh, people are like, wow, we love what you do. You're not going to have that every day. You might get that 4 times in the first quarter, if that, 2 times in the first quarter if you're lucky, okay? You might get 2 claps and 2 pat on the backs in the first quarter if you're lucky, okay? But what's going to sustain you and what's going to keep you going is you got to see the bigger vision. You got to see the bigger vision. And so I'm just trying to encourage you not to allow your lack of motivation to keep you from truly going further in what God has called you to do. If you feel called to do a podcast, which somebody mentioned on here, you feel called to that. Don't allow your lack of finances, the lack of what you don't have, because if you did the Esther fast with us, and even if you didn't, I hope you get this, but even if you didn't do the Esther fast with us, we talked about the reason on night 2, I brought in a lot of HDC members like Vershanti and Jessica and Kalandra and Brittany. The reason I brought in them was because the Lord said, you already have all you need. I was looking outward like, oh, who am I going to have to book? Who are we going to have to ask? And the Lord said, you got everything you need. It's all in-house. So I'm trying to give you that word. You want to start the podcast? You want to make the connections? You want to buy the house? Ooh, that's where you want to buy the home? You want to set up some new things? It's all in-house. The connections you need is all in-house. I'm going to say this one more time. The connections you need is all in-house. Everything you need is there. And I'm going to say this. I was at my parents' house in that old bed and my old backroom bedroom thinking, I need to go rent a place to like record videos sometimes, or I need to go get like a loan, like just get somewhere to where I can try to do this because my parents are always home and like I don't have like a place. I was doing recorded from my bed. And I'm like, I don't like the background like on my bed. It doesn't feel like what I want it to feel like. I want it to feel a little more polished, not realizing the answer was in my home. It was in that other room. I just had to go in there and clean up. It was going to take some days of decluttering and cleaning and stripping, but it was all in my home. It was all in-house. And so your podcast, connections, how are you going to get it going? It's all in-house. Oh, your idea. Man, I don't know how I'm going to start this. It's all in-house. I say this again. Ooh, the Lord is taking me back. Thank you, Jesus. When we were starting our prom dress drive, this is before I even started my ministry, I remember I had like, okay, I want to rally up so many I think I said I want to get as many prom dresses as I can so I can give them to girls in need who, grow up from low income homes where their parents really can't drop $400, $300, $200 on a prom dress. Because I grew up like that. And I knew how prom season was really a big struggle for my family. We couldn't afford prom dresses. So I would work, I would borrow the friends, we would ask around, and sometimes it would be days before, and I still would, every girl in my class, or, if they'd be talking, oh, we got my prom dress, and I'd be like, I would just lie. I'd be like, yeah, I got mine, yeah. They'd be like, what color is it? And I'm like, I'm not gonna tell you yet, knowing I did not have a prom dress, knowing we didn't have it like that. So that's when I started the prom dress drive, but I started going around. But I want to tell you, 14 or 13 prom, was it 13? 13 or 12 prom dresses came from in-house. Some came from my house, some came from my family, some came from my friends. It wasn't that many that was way out there. Like I thought I was going to reach far and wide. It was literally, but the first 2 years of prom dress drive, the prom dresses came from my real close connections. That's where they came from. Cousins that had dresses, friends, close friends, family members, aunties, that's where it came from. And I realized that God is having to show me again, your help is in-house. Your connections, your friends, your breakthrough, your next level, it's in-house. Girl, Then I gotta write that down. But then we just talk about revamping. It's in-house. What you're looking out there thinking, oh, I need to order a new pair. I need to order a new couch. And I'm thinking of myself right now because I want to revamp this spot to kind of have like a little podcast setup. And I remember I was looking at all this stuff online. It was like a $2,000 couch. And I remember being like, okay, yeah, I love it though. Not gonna lie, I love that couch. That couch is cute. It's been I've been looking at that couch for a while. A couple like it. I'm like, I really like that couch. And you know what the Lord said? You don't need that $2,000 couch. And I'm like, he said 10% of 2,000 is what? I said 200. He said, okay. So you can sell 200 and hope and pray that $2,000 couch come, but you ain't gonna start doing what I called you to do until you get that couch. Or can you use what you got and know that as you keep using what you got, you'll make that extra 2,000 to where then when eventually you get the couch, it was just a part of the journey. It didn't phase you. It didn't nothing. You wouldn't have to sit on it so long, right? You won't have to think about it. Glory's like, you can use what you got, or you can wait until you got enough money or extra money, or you got all the new equipment that you want and all the lights installed to start, or you can just start. Or do you need the full perfect setup to start? Don't let the lights get so bright that they can't see me anymore and they only see you. Don't let the setup get so nice they can't see me anymore, they only see you. Don't let all the equipment get so nice they can't see me anymore, they only see you. Okay? So not saying you can't have nice things, not saying that, but I am saying that you do want to honor the Lord, and there's been so many things I have desired and wanted, and when it came down to it, the Lord's like, that's not necessary. It's not necessary, okay? So, okay, I'm going to tell you this right here again. When you lose motivation for your purpose and your dreams, many times, I'm going to go back through this, you need to step back. You need to quit touching it. If it's for a day, a week, 2 weeks, but don't go over 2 weeks, because in those 2 weeks, you should be getting new revelation, new understanding. You should be reading books. You should be getting back to you to where you can look at this thing different. The next thing is you got to identify your pain points. If there's areas in your ministry or your business or your vision or your life, and you're noticing, man, I'm losing all the motivation to go to the gym, what's your pain point? Your pain point might be like, I just be tired in the evening. I'm always doing something else, or I don't get the time, whatever. Identify your pain point, please do. Next thing is, don't be afraid to ask and get feedback. If you notice there's a really area that you're like, man, I can't get past this. Like I'm losing motivation for my purpose. Maybe just ask somebody, like, how far along do you really think I am? Because sometimes you don't think you're that far along, but other people think you are light years ahead, right? So there are times you might be like, man, we just getting started. Like, I'm barely off the ground. I ain't done nothing. I haven't even made it. And somebody else is like, oh my gosh, I love your ministry. Like, I will tell you, when there were seasons when my ministry was so small on my college campus, I'm trying to tell you, like, it was small. There'd be like 2 girls a part of his daughter's closet ministry at the time. And then I would meet a girl who wasn't even on my campus. I would meet her, like, and we would talk, and then I was like, oh yeah, I have a YouTube channel. She would go look at it, and then she would be like, oh my gosh, I love your content. Like, she made me feel light years ahead of what I really was. Like, I didn't feel that way. So sometimes you downplay your purpose where you're at, because you don't feel like you're that far along or that far ahead. But if you just ask somebody else, do you think I would be crazy to quit doing this? And they'd be like, girl, yes, you already set up like this. You already be marketing. Girl, you are ahead. Do not give up. You might need to talk to somebody with a good heart and good intentions and just be like, how do you see me at? Because I remember one day I was on the phone with my sister, and I was like, man, this stuff is just hard. Like, I love what I do. I love the ministry. I love this. But man, sometimes I'm like, is it ever going to take off? Like, is it ever going to connect? Is it ever going to hit? Like, is people ever going to connect with this? And I was talking to her because I've been doing ministry for a while, and I felt like things weren't growing. It just wasn't impacting people like I wanted it to. And I had no audience yet. And I was just like, man, like, is it ever going to do that? And I remember something she said. She said, oh, no, I know it is. And it's not about if it's going to do it. It's about when it's going to do it, Morgan. Like, oh, I know it's going to take off for you. I know it's going to be big. I already know it. But it's not if it's going to be big, but it's when. Like, when is it going to hit? When is it going to be big? Like, she was saying that to me one time on the phone. I remember being like, I was looking at if. I was like, if it happens, if we grow, if we make impact, if it's purposeful, if it's good. And she's like, no, it is. But now it's when it's going to be all that. And it's already kind of that. So she really shifted my perspective to not look at it like it may not ever happen, but to look at it like, no, it will, but it's when it happens. Okay. And so I'm just trying to share that with you, that sometimes, but also we got to touch on this. Sometimes we lose our motivation because we're kind of self-sabotaging, because maybe life hasn't quite went the best way, or maybe you made some bad decisions, maybe you lost some people, and so now you don't know how to, you're not going to physically harm yourself, you're not going to like punch yourself in the face, you're not going to hurt yourself, but what you will do is you will start making decisions that you know truly hurt you. Okay, let's dig a little bit. There was a season I was really upset with myself about a decision I made with a family member, and I felt like I wasn't there for them, and I felt like I chose some other things over them, and I just remember feeling really bad because this family member passed away. And I remember I just felt so bad. But okay, so after the family member passed away, God had to show me that I started self-sabotaging. I stopped doing a certain product that I really loved. I quit promoting it. And then it started going to me physically. I was going to the gym for like 4 months straight. Now, not super every 5 days a week, but every week I was going to the gym for like 4 months straight. After that happened, I didn't go to the gym for like 3 straight weeks. I just couldn't I couldn't go to the gym for 3 straight weeks. And I couldn't get the motivation back. And then this is when he's like, okay, you're self-sabotaging. Because one night it was time to go to bed. I'm very big on hygiene. I've had my teeth fixed, so I'm really big on like brushing your teeth, taking care of your teeth, everything. I'm like, I don't want to brush my teeth anymore. What is that? And the Lord was like, you're so upset with yourself because of whatever situation. You're so upset with yourself that you want to harm yourself. So you don't want to go to the gym anymore because you know the gym made you feel really well and you made you feel like you were on target for your goals. You don't want to go to the gym anymore. And now you don't even want to take care of yourself. Like, so I wasn't even really dressing up at that time. I wasn't even like embracing all the stuff that I love, like fashion, whatever. I wasn't doing my lashes, wasn't doing my nails. I just kind of really chilled out, which, however, was really good for me. However, though, the Lord had to show me that there was a little self-sabotage in that. And you're upset with yourself, and so now you're sabotaging yourself. And so I want to share this with you, that sometimes our motivation is gone, and it's not because we can't see the full vision. It's not because we don't know that we're called. It's not because we don't think we're gifted. No, we know. It's not because we don't have the vision. Oh, we know what to do. It's not because we just like, no, it's really that we're upset with ourselves. Either because something's going on in our life, we feel behind, our finances ain't looking right, we made a bad decision, we invested in or we believed in something and it turned bad on us, whatever. Sometimes we can lose motivation because we're upset with ourselves. And so us not walking in our purpose is really a form of self-sabotage. Or us not actually starting the idea is truly a form of self-sabotage. Us not walking in through that door when we know it's clear as day that we should start that podcast, or it's clear as day that I should take on this particular job and do X, Y, and Z. It's clear as day that I should go get a new job or try or update my resume to try for a new job because I'm overqualified for this one. It's clear as day. But the self-sabotage says no. So I'm not going to physically hurt myself because I'm not crazy, right? I'm not crazy. I'm not going to physically hurt myself. But I'm going to make small decisions in my life that's going to kind of hurt me, to sabotage me, to sabotage the parts of my success, even though I know I want to be successful. And Lord knows I want to walk in this. But I'm going to make little small decisions. Because I'm not fully happy with me. I'm not happy with my decisions. I'm not happy how I did X, Y, and Z. I'm not happy how I handled that situation. And so I will self-sabotage myself. So I will set myself up, not to fully succeed, but sometimes I will set myself up to halfway succeed. And when I finally see a little bit of success, I'll throw a wrench in there real quick. And I'll think, God, why did God do that? Not realizing, you stopped though. It was you who stopped. It wasn't God. You stopped. Man, I really could have been farther along in this dream now or this idea, but I stopped. It was some self-sabotage. You know what? This thing was going kind of good for me, and then I stopped because something happened, or I lost my mama, or I lost a family member, I lost my... Yeah, you were really hurt, and maybe you were a little upset with yourself. So you stopped self-sabotage, okay? And I'm speaking from experience because every time I have wanted to stop because somebody left this world or this earth, I made bad decisions. I fell off my purity journey after 7 years or whatever. I remember talking about that in a video. But before all that, I wanted to stop. I wanted to stop. I'm like, oh, I gotta quit this. I gotta stop. And every time I wanted to fully self-sabotage, like real bad, y'all, the Lord would say no. So you're gonna do these little subtle things to punish yourself because you don't have enough of it in your bank account or you're not farther along. But what if you just quit punishing yourself? So pay attention when you're losing motivation for something you know God put in you. You know that it burns a fire in you. You know that ideas come to you when you ain't even thinking about it. If you catch yourself losing motivation in something like that, step back, identify your pain points, research, get some feedback, ask somebody for some advice, try to dream again, get some new goals and plans, revamp some things. And if you like, dang, it still ain't really bringing my motivation back, then stop and say, am I trying to punish myself for something? Is there something I'm upset about or something I don't like about myself? So I'm causing myself to lose motivation. I'm trying to punish myself. I'm trying not to touch the purpose. And I'm saying, oh, I don't have motivation for it when really it's a little bit of self-sabotage in there. It's because I know that if I really keep going at this, I probably will succeed and I will see better results and I will really grow and I really will make an impact. However, I don't really like myself. I don't really like how I look. I don't really like my life. I don't really like my bank account. I don't really like that decision I made. So instead of pushing myself further, I'll do these little punches and these little jabs to hold myself back. Yeah. That's usually sometimes what it is, okay? So hopefully tonight what you take from this also, though, like I wasn't really planning to go that deep into self-sabotage, but I think that was the Holy Spirit also wanting me to share parts of how he has had to work with me through my very own self-sabotage. And I still do it to this day. Like, trust me, I really still do it sometimes where a product will be, or something in the ministry will be going well, and then I'll just quit talking about it. I'll quit promoting it. I'll quit talking about it. And I'll go home, and then I'm like, why are the numbers so low? But it's like the thing that was going well, you quit. You just sabotaged it for no reason. Like, okay, so it happens in a lot of different ways. And so my goal is to really help you see the areas that you may possibly, just possibly, be self-sabotaging, okay? And so today, what I want to tell you is this live chat wasn't quite planned beforehand, before a few days ago. But what I wanted to do for you guys is I wanted to help you realize that if you're losing motivation, there are some physical key points and things you can do, like step back, reanalyze, talk to somebody, get some new feedback, but then there are also some spiritual things you can do. You can look and see if you're self-sabotaging, but also you can look in your house. You can look in your sphere of friends. You can look at what's in your grasp. Is there anything in my grasp that I can utilize? Anything in my grasp that I can utilize, Jesus? Is there anything around me that I can utilize to help me set this thing up beautifully? Is there anything? Okay. That's why you got to understand that there are some things in your house, girl, okay? There are some things in your house. And talking about some things in your house, okay? I have something in my house right now in the name of Jesus, and that is my membership. I have a monthly membership inside of my ministry called His Daughter's Closet, where this comes with masterclass. Our Bloom Challenge is in there from this month, and all these great things that I kind of was talking about. We also have an Amazon, how to put your book on Amazon masterclass. We have how to be a speaker masterclasses in there, how to be an influencer. Every masterclass comes with PDF and printables, and it also comes with community. And we also do monthly calls, kind of like this, but on Zoom, where I actually can see you and we can talk back and forth, and I can answer some of your questions and really help you through these pain points. And so if you enjoyed this, because this is like a similar topic that we will talk about inside of the membership, sometimes about when you lose motivation for your purpose, when certain things aren't really working out, what do you do? So I'm here to help you. And I will say this is something that I created like in 2019, 2020. I know God put it on me so strongly to create this membership. And I will say there has been seasons where I've seen it kind of fluctuate. But one thing that has been so steady and consistent is continuously pouring into you, not just on YouTube, but even in there. There are so many more master classes that teach. But the thing about the membership though, and I wanted to structure it a little different. YouTube, it's so much faith and so much pouring into you. But the masterclass, it is faith. There's so much faith in there. However, there's a lot more steps and tools. So for example, you might have the faith to write the book, but you don't know where to get started. And so I have a whole masterclass and an outline on outlining your first book. Okay, what's the goal of your book? Who is the audience? What do you want them to feel when they walk away from your book? What do you want them to gain, or what do you want them to feel as they read your book? What do you want them to gain at the end of this book? And then also I show you how to outline your book. And then I have a whole nother masterclass is once your book is written, how to put it on Amazon, and I even have a template for you so you don't have to figure out all the dimensions and stuff. You can just get that baby in there, okay? I have all that over there in there because I believe that there should only be one daughter empowered. There should be so many of us empowered, all right? So many of us empowered. And so I want to tell you that. So I have the link right there to the membership. And I will say, someone did say, do you sell pink Bible covers? No, I do not. I love my pink Bible. Is it in here? Yep, it's laying over there. I love my pink Bible, but the cover was created by a woman in a nursing home. I used to go to this nursing home that my mom worked at, and her name was Miss Perry. She was way older, and I would go in there and just talk to her sometimes. She was way older, and she didn't really get that many guests. And so me and Miss Perry got really cool. This was in high school. Me and her got really cool. I was not saved and when I first met Miss Perry at all. And then I went off to college and I got saved within maybe a year. Miss Perry was still alive. For my birthday that year, you know what she did? Her and my mama got together. They sneakily measured my Bible. She knew my favorite color was pink. She bought all the material. My mama told her my colors and stuff, but she got all the material and she made me that Bible cover. And Miss Perry has gone to be with the Lord now for so many years. I mean, this was like 2013 when she created my Bible cover. Maybe a year or two later, she left the earth. But that holds so much near and dear to me because when I first met Miss Perry and was over there, I wasn't saved. I was still wilding, let's be real. But by the time I got saved, she was able to do something for me, and that is so sweet. And I'm just like, it makes me a little emotional. But she was such a sweet woman, and y'all all love the Bible. And every time I go speak, even if it's in a small church to a bigger place, every time I speak, that is the Bible that I take because it just represents her beauty and the beauty of Christ. So yeah, I love it. Thank you though. But no, I do not sell those Bible covers. That's my only Bible like that. Most of the time I'm using the little flimsy rinky-dink Bible that I study with all the time. All right. Someone also asked, are you still offering $50 one-on-one calls? No, I am not. Can't remember when that was, but I will say, if you are part of the membership, you kind of get group calls, and sometimes they turn into one-on-ones, okay? Because one thing about me is, and I've said this before, I have had many girls book me for one-on-one calls, and I have heard the Lord say, send it back to them. And so this one girl booked me, I can't say her name because it's private, but this one girl booked me for a one-on-one call. And she didn't even tell me nothing yet. And I heard the Lord say, send it back to her. So she's talking to me. I'm already done, on the back end, trying to get the refund, whatever. And she says, I spent my last to book this call. And I had already clicked refund. And I go back to the screen. I said, you spent your last? She said, yeah, I spent my last. All I had was this much. And I booked this call in faith. Because I had already been starting to pour into her. But I was like, God, I feel God put this on me. Let me go ahead and send this back. And it was so crazy because I was like, wow. She's like, well, I was like, I just refunded you your money. She's like, no. I'm like, no, I did. And she's like, what? I'm like, I did. I'm like, I just felt the Lord tell me to send it back. And she was like, oh my gosh. She's like, it took a lot of faith for me because I was my last. And I'm like, see, you didn't, before I already sent it back before you even said that. I'm like, but also that just shows you how God honors, he really does honor our sacrifices. So I will say, sometimes, let me just be real, Lord knows, our one-on-one calls, sometimes I really don't open those very often. So I don't even feel like they're open right now. I don't want to be wrong, but I'm pretty sure they're not really opened right now. But if you happen to join our membership, we have a lot of group coaching calls a month. And sometimes we're on there, and I always say this, we have a clarity and confidence call. And when the call is done, I say, if you don't have your clarity and confidence, hang around. Let's chat a little more, and let me see if there's some more clarity. I can help you, lay out your vision and lay out your plan or whatever. And I will say, Usually there's always 1 to 2 more that hang around, honestly. And so usually they get their own one-on-one coaching session, honestly. There's usually 1 or 2 more that's like, I cannot figure this out, or I do not have my clarity, or I don't have my confidence yet. And so I'm like, all right, let me keep going. Like, Lord, there's still more. So what I want you to do is, for the girl who asked about the call, like, don't worry about the coaching call, sis. If you can't join the membership, I'm not supposed to say this. I'm not supposed to say this, but tomorrow's Wednesday. Let me say if I'm saying it right. Wednesday, if you're on our email list. So if you're not on the email list, make sure you get on there. Wednesday, is that Wednesday? Hold on, I don't want to get it wrong. Actually, I can't say this yet because whoever on it, they're going to be blessed. Let me just say that. I can't say this yet. I can't say this. So the sis who asked for the $50 coaching call, Kamira, make sure you're on the email list. And that's that. I can't say it yet because I don't want people to go do things based off of and get in the way of the other people that's already all the way been there. But long story short, if you've already been on the email list, you will be blessed. Trust me. Coming up on, what day is this? Oh, March 13th. What day is that? All right, yeah. Thursday. You'll be blessed. Okay? Amen. 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 All right. I will give, that's the link to the membership. If any of you would love to join, I have to say this though, because this is what I got to say, because the emails went out today and I've got to say it. I'm glad I looked at this just now. The doors to the membership close tonight, and they will not open again until the summer. And I'm actually so excited about that because Lord knows that when you have a membership, sometimes you just are always promoting and you're always trying to grow it sometimes or impact, that you don't really get to focus on the people in there and the people that you have. And so tonight, which I had it open for a week, if you're on the email list, you've known that the doors to the membership have been open for 1 week. But they do close today. They close today. We sent out all the emails about it, everything, but they will close until summer. Okay, so I don't know if that's early May, end May, June, July. I don't know. But I know this summer we will reopen the doors. But the reason we're closing them for so long is so that I can invest in the people that are in there. But also, and this is the key, because there is some revamping going on, okay? There are some revamping going on. There are some new things coming to make that membership really more accessible. And if you ever did the Esther fast, you could get your certificate quick. Like, there's a lot of background things going on right now. Okay. So that's why we are closing that bad boy until the summer. But the doors close tonight at 11:59 p.m. Central Standard Time, correct? Yeah, let me double check. It might be, yeah, I think it's 11:59 p.m. Central Standard Time. The doors will close tonight, because we do want to take our time as we pour into these ladies in there. But also, so you still have time to join. That link is there. But I am saying the doors will not open until the summer. And so I do know we have a membership, like how to build your own memberships coming in that. Let me see what else we have. I got to pull this up because I'm trying to think of what else is coming. Okay, I know we have our own membership, or ministry memberships, like how to build your own membership and how to build your own monthly subscription programs and stuff like that. Also, we have things about social media like Instagram Reels and how to really position yourself to create organic content to eventually get branded content. Okay, that's coming in there. I'm just teaching you stuff that I've learned. Also, we will be revamping it to getting some really cool thought leaders and people in the Christian sphere and in business, and then women who are some people you have seen online and you're probably like, wow, we have some really great interviews coming inside of our memberships with some of these ladies to really empower you and impact you. So yeah, the summer, we will open the doors again in the summer, but we have a lot of revamping to do. And so hopefully it really like blesses the ladies. And this is my heart. Like, I want to see women not only getting empowered by the word of God, but then getting the tools to go out and do that. Like, I don't want you to be, oh yeah, I love it, I'm so empowered. I want you to actually be like, I'm so empowered, now I'm going to go write the book. And then I'm going to use the tools inside the membership to get my book on Amazon. And then I'm going to use the other tools to market it and to build my audience and to grow my YouTube channel. Like, I want to be able to like give you those tools so you can really do that thing, okay? So yeah, The doors close tonight. Okay, I'm gonna say that again. The doors close tonight at 11:59 p.m. Central Standard Time. And when they close until summer. Okay. The reason we are closing until summer is because we are working on some really cool, unique things for the ministry, coming hopefully early summer, so that we can really start some new things for the ministry for you ladies. Um, Oh, Kamara said, the second day of the Esther fast, I received my own office space. I'm so grateful for your leadership. I have so many testimonies of walking with you in Christ. Oh, Kamara, that's so awesome. Amen. I'm trying to tell you, don't wait for a corporate fast, y'all. Like if there, when I have really needed God to move on something, or I'm about to step out in faith on something, and I know it's coming up in a few days or 3 days, I will fast. I'm like, going on a fast. Why are you fasting? Because I'm trying to get this thing, trying to get in position to get the courage to get this thing right here. So I'm like, oh, you trying to buy a house? Oh, about to fast. About to fast. So I can have some favor behind me so I can go buy this house, okay? But that's what I'm trying to tell you, like, truly fast, you guys, like fast, okay? That's so beautiful, Kamira. I'm so happy for you. So, okay, ladies, I have hit my hour mark. I realize that. But I want to tell you right now, if you are still on here, there is a link right there. You can click that link, but I didn't even tell you the code. I'm so sorry. And if you click that link, it's going to lead you to the sales page, but also there is a code. If you use this code tonight, you will get 50%, excuse me, which is, it's not even $50. But anyways, you will get 50%, the product isn't even $50 is what I mean. You will get 50% off. You will get 50% off your first month of the membership. The membership says it's closed. Oh, does it already say it's closed? Does it already say it's closed? Actually, let me see now the direct link, because I think, okay, it's not closed. Well, if it is, I'm sorry. Let me see if I can move something around. All right, there's a specific code, and I just sent it to you. If you click that new link, okay, I sent you a new link. This is bypassing the particular first link I sent you to, which is our official sales page. This is bypassing that. And this link is going straight into using the code, which the code is already applied, and it takes $25 off of it. So it's literally like a coffee, okay? Like you're buying a coffee and a bagel, okay? Like literally as cheap as a coffee and a bagel, girl, okay? To really get you into the membership and to get you plugged into these master classes. And also the Bloom Month Challenge is in there this month as a bonus so that you will really be empowered. And so I want to encourage you to that last link I just dropped. And I think I pinned it. Yeah, I pinned that last link, that link. That's going to be the one you want to click with because, oh yes, Trinity, sorry, you did miss the word. Don't worry, girl, you can watch it on the replay. But the biggest thing is when you lose motivation for your purpose, there are a few things to check on, okay? And hopefully tonight you took a little notes, you watched it on the replay, check those things out because we can all lose motivation. But also if you get plugged into community, that can help you so much. And a big tip on there I said was get feedback, like ask somebody. And if you are needing community, you want to ask me personally some questions, you can do that inside of our membership because we do have a private Facebook group that I am active in there and girls drop their questions to me and to others and we answer them as quick as we can and we just try to give you as much feedback. You can drop your links in there, we follow you, we audit your Instagram, we audit your website. We're like, oh girl, I like that, but change that text, I can't read it. Like we're just we try our best to just be real open and like don't gatekeep, don't try to keep anything away, but be very open and like here you go. So if you need some accountability, if you want those master classes, if you want to be a part of the Bloom Month Challenge, all that, girl, it is inside of the membership. The doors do close tonight at 11:59 p.m. Central Standard Time. And so if you do want to be a part, the doors close tonight. Okay, so but they also don't open until the summer. But when they open in the summer, you better believe that price is gonna be a little different, okay? Because there's a lot of things we're working on and a lot of things we are going to be adding to this thing. But however, I'm so excited. If you get in now, you will be plugged in, and so you won't have to worry about that. But I'm excited for what is to come because that's a part of Revamp, and that's a part of getting your motivation back, and that's a part of casting a new vision and seeing the vision through, and then losing your motivation but continuing to push. Girl, there are some things coming that I am so excited about. Like, I'm very excited about, okay? All right. So anyways, y'all, the doors will close until the summer. So if you want to get in, today's your chance, okay? But besides that, sis, this is what I want to tell you. Like, I'm being funny and being goofy. But all jokes aside, I just feel like, girl, give Jesus your heart. Make sure you give Jesus your heart. And then go and get in the membership. But give Jesus your heart first. All jokes aside, make sure you give him your heart. Because a lot of, and you might be like, Morgan, what is that? Just fully believe in him. Fully believe in him. And through hell and high waters, sickness and health and death and hurt and letdowns and the reality of life and all of that, choose to give Jesus your heart and choose to trust him and believe in him and trust on him. Okay? All right, ladies. Well, I have done my part. I did my due diligence. I did what the Lord called me to do. So I am about to go. That link is right there. You can also click that link in the description box. The doors do end, or the doors do close tonight. And so when you click that link after 11:59, it will no longer be valid. So I want to encourage you, if you want to join and get into HCC membership before the doors close, do it before 11:59. But if not, regardless if you join or not, girl, we still gonna empower you, still gonna pour into you, and as long as you're part of that email list, you will still get so much resources and tools on this journey of faith. Okay. All right, ladies, y'all have a great night. I hope y'all got blessed, and thank y'all for all the delays with the live and everything that was going on tonight. And I appreciate y'all, and I'll see y'all later. Oh, we have a video dropping Friday, and it's so random, but it's like how to style blazers. Because I'm just like wanting to have fun and do my thing. But how to style blazers, okay? And dress more modest with blazers. And like I'm talking about all that in Friday's Fearless Friday video. And then we'll be back on our grind. All right. Bye, ladies. I love y'all, and I'll see y'all later. Bye. See ya.